The Bahamas will crack down on gun and drugs crime by introducing tougher penalties, strengthening the police and court system, and applying the death penalty for some categories of murder. This has been disclosed by Prime Minister Hubert Ingram. Mr. Ingram promised vigorous government action against what he called an intolerable level of crime threatening the Atlantic island chain, where tourism is the major driver of the economy. Authorities are worried about the potential impact on tourism, which, along with related construction and manufacturing, provides an estimated 60% of the gross domestic product of the Bahamas. Low-cost carrier Rejet will fly to Grenada from December. That's according to Grenada's Tourism and Civil Aviation Minister, Peter David. He says Rejet applied and was granted approval through the Air Transport Board. Mr. David says they believe the addition of any airline to the fleet that flies to Grenada is good for the island's tourism industry. Rejet has indicated that the service will begin on December the 1st, with 3 weekly flights also linking Trinidad and Barbados. Rejet operates flights to Guyana, Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, and Barbados. Well, Guyanese should know soon when they will be going to the polls. President Bharat Jagdeo today told a press conference at the office of the president that he will name the date for general elections within a week. He said today that he received a letter from the chairman of the Guyana Elections Commission, Dr. Steve Suraj Bali, advising that the final list of electors was ready. In business today, the Barbados Light and Power Holdings Limited has made a significant purchase. As Lisa Broom reports now, the power company now has just over 19% stake in the St. Lucia Electricity Services Limited, or LUCILEC.
Managing Director of Light and Power Holdings Limited, Peter Williams, says the purchase of LUCILEC is part of a strategic plan for the growth of a Caribbean utility business. LUCILEC was chosen, he says, as a first investment since it is a strong utility and is therefore seen as a good partner. Mr. Williams tells the Business Report that a major priority in the purchase was protecting the 20% local shareholding in the company, done through an independent valuation by a team from First Caribbean International Bank. The managing director says, however, the benefits of the purchase are mainly long-term.
There will be a sharing of expertise, knowledge. LUCILEC, or St. Lucia Electricity Services, short name LUCILEC, are engaged in certain areas of the operation that we can benefit from. They're doing things that we can learn from, and similarly there are things that we're doing that they can benefit from. So we see this as a natural sort of partnership going forward.
And he explains that some of this work has started.
We already have some exchange, as it were, of information. We have exchange of expertise through CARELEC, the Caribbean Electric Services Association. And we will be deepening and extending that. And at the moment, Sir Trevor Louisi, who is the Managing Director of LUCILEC, is now on the board of the Barbados Light and Power Company Limited, a utility. And similarly, I am on the board now of St. Lucia Electricity Services.
On the issue of financing the project, First Caribbean International is providing part of the funding, while the remainder has been generated internally.
Light and Power Holdings had raised funds through a rights offering back in 2006 for investment in real estate and in telecom. We'd subsequently sold our investment in the telecom, that was Tele Barbados and Antilles Crossing. We'd sold that investment back to Lucadia. And so we are using some of those funds, as it were, for this transaction.
According to Mr. Williams, the purchase is expected to be finalized before year-end once approvals are acquired. Lisa Broom for the Business Report.
Barbadian rum is continuing to break into major markets across the world and is now being sold in the bars of Moscow in Russia. This information from Executive Chairman of RL Seal and Company Limited, Richard Seal, who's delighted with the breakthrough. He made the comments as Industry Minister Dennis Kelman and officials of the Barbados Manufacturers Association toured the Foursquare Rum Distillery yesterday. Mr. Seal says around 75% of their product is exported.
Moscow, and that's been, that's very exciting for us because you would appreciate 20 years ago, I don't think anybody believed that Barbados rums would be in the bars in Moscow. So that was a surreal experience to see that.
So they're actually there now?
Yes, of course. Yes, been there for over a year, and I went there just to follow up. Oh, the volume is small, but I mean it's one city and we're growing.
Mr. Seal says he wants to see a level playing field for the rum industry in Barbados, noting that there are several ways government can assist the sector. He says this is vital given that it missed a golden opportunity in 1997 when it introduced the value-added tax. Mr. Seal says by also failing to abolish the excise tax on rum, Barbados also missed the chance to make the product revenue neutral.
So right now the government collects excise tax on rum, on beer, on fuel oil, and also of course collects VAT from every business in Barbados. But only rum is subject to very onerous procedures and controls that are long out of date. And so what we're basically saying to the government is put us in line with everyone else. There's no reason why there should be any extra controls and an extra burden of costs on rum, say, versus beer or fuel oil is absurd.
Now here's a summary of today's trading on some of the region's stock exchanges.
Well, very good evening to all, and partly cloudy to cloudy skies were the order of the early part of this morning and for most of the day across Barbados and across the south. But at the airport we got just 5 millimeters of rainfall overnight. Nothing measurable, but I can assure you we had some pretty heavy downpours across other sections of the island, along with a few isolated thunderstorms. Now, one of those unusual days where we hardly saw the sun, but the maximum temperature got up to 30 degrees Celsius nevertheless at the airport. The minimum temperature was down to a very cool 22.5. At 6 o'clock, skies were cloudy, the temperature 26 degrees Celsius, the humidity 80%, and the winds were out of the southeast rather, at 13 kilometers per hour. And again in the eastern Atlantic tonight, quickly, we're going to be taking a look at a tropical wave. There's a tropical wave in the vicinity of 42 degrees west with activity to the south of 17 degrees north. This is of moderate intensity, and our predictions are that it's going to be reaching us sometime around late Thursday into Friday. But as we outlined last night, the southern portion of the region was a section of the area that got cloudy skies and scattered showers, a very persistent multi-layered cloud mass, and this was as a result of a trough trailing from Tropical Storm Philippe and the displaced intertropical convergence zone. Let's put the cloud in motion, and you would see that the northern portion of the region remained fair to partly cloudy, no real significant shower activity, but the interaction of the trough and the intertropical convergence zone created cloudy to overcast skies. Trinidad had quite a bit of shower activity and some isolated thunderstorms, and as we pointed out, we were on the northern periphery of all of this activity. Now for the next 12 to 18 hours, the situation is going to remain the same. We're going to be just sitting on the northern portion of this, northern boundary of this instability, and as a result it's going to be a touch and go situation, but most of the activity is going to remain down south. And talking about Tropical Storm Philippe, at 5, this system seems not to be dying, is in the vicinity of 26 degrees north, 60 degrees west, some 635 miles to the southeast of Bermuda. And indications are that this system could strengthen to hurricane strength before it is all over. And in the west, this frontal system, this is going to be playing a fairly pivotal role in the activity over Barbados and over the region. By Friday, we are expecting it to be to the north of the area. This is going to be coincided with a tropical wave around 42 degrees west, and we're going to be seeing a buildup in moisture and instability, and some scattered showers are going to be expected. I'll be back after the break.
This is the unfortunate event that damaged the house of the family that is insured with United. Homeowners insured with United Insurance don't need to worry about what will happen after a disaster strikes, because they know that United will always be there, helping them put things back together again by providing insurance for houses and contents. Don't worry, you're in safe hands with United.
Welcome back, and the pattern is going to continue at least for another 12 to 18 hours. The trough, the combination of the trough and the intertropical convergence zone will continue to generate cloudy skies and scattered showers, predominantly over the south. We're going to be on the northern boundary of this. There's going to be a touch and go situation tonight. partly cloudy to cloudy skies, chance of isolated thunderstorms, but it's going to be a marginal improvement tomorrow. But then the tropical wave presently around 42 degrees west, that in tandem with a trough, they're going to be pushing towards the region and of course the frontal system, and we could very well see cloudy skies and scattered showers towards the end of the weekend. Let's take a look though at our 4-day prediction, Wednesday through to Saturday. Partly cloudy skies for part of tomorrow. By Thursday into Friday, we're going to be looking at showers, scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. By Saturday, the atmosphere is going to be drying out marginally, and we're going to be back to partly cloudy skies with a reduction in the shower activity. Sunrise in Barbados tomorrow, 5:47. Sunset will be at 5:45. Taking a look at the tides, the first low tide 4:56 in the AM, the second is going to be at 5:15 in the PM, the first low tide 11:49 in the AM, the second is going to be at 10:58 in the evening. And the seas, with the winds as fresh as they are, moderate in open water, swells are peaking at 2.5 meters, so small craft operators and sea bathers, please be cautious. The winds easterly 15 to 35 kilometers per hour with the possibility of a higher gust near showers. Tonight, partly cloudy to cloudy and breezy with scattered showers and possible isolated thunderstorms. And come tomorrow, we're looking at partly cloudy to cloudy skies at times with a few scattered showers.